Which is better, MD or MBBS? What should I go with? What is the differences between both? What are their importance? Most of you might be in dilemma on what to pick when pursuing a medical degree. And just like me, you might be wondering, what is the differences between MD and MBBS? Let me start by defining them both. MD is called Doctor of Medicine and MBBS is Bachelor in Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery. But that doesn't mean to say if you're a graduate for MBBS, you're eligible to perform surgery. No. MD is a 4 years postgraduate course, meaning you will be needing a pre-medical degree before you are eligible to take up MD. Well, this pre-medical degree is of various categories such as Bachelor in Pharmacy, Bachelor of Nursing, Bachelor in Medical Laboratory Science, and even Bachelor in Biology. There are a lot. Well, I will be discussing the various factors to consider when picking a pre-medical course in my subsequent video. MBBS, on the other hand, is a 6 to 7 years undergraduate course, not necessarily requiring a first degree. So by now, you should already get the two major differences between the both of them, their prerequisite and the number of years. So let's dive in more. If MBBS is 6 years and MD is only 4 years, are they both trained the same way? Do they offer the same courses? To answer those questions, MBBS is an undergraduate course, and for that very reason, most of the students taking up MBBS are fresh graduates from high school. So, like pre-medical courses, your first year is basically on minor subjects like physics, chemistry, English, mathematics, and even get to take PE. Like basically it's just like an advanced high school. Like they are preparing you for the struggle of medicine. But in MD, your first year is just straight to the point. You start with anatomy, which is subdivided into 4: gross anatomy, histology, embryology, neurology, then you have physiology and medical biochemistry. And alongside with some minor subjects. So basically your first year is the same as your second and third year in MBBS, which is termed as preclinical years. A major differences which should at this moment be stated is that MBBS will be taking a licensure exam little by little. Unlike in MD, your licensure exam is at the end of the program. Let me explain. So basically, after your third year in MBBS, you will take a second MBBS licensure exam. So far, I have heard that exam is really difficult. But medicine on its own is not easy, right? Well, the exam is it's in 4 parts. You have multiple choice, you have essay type, you have practicals in the laboratory, and you have the husky. Also, we call it an interview, which is basically you are alone in the room with doctors ready to ask you anything. You have to be prepared. Can you imagine? But the clinical years, which starts with from your second year for MD and your 4th year for MBBS. Here you will see courses such as pharmacology, hemopathology, hemomicrobiology, which is consisting of bacteriology, physiology, mycology, and also parasitology. You also have medicine 1 and 2 and some might call it physical examination. You have research, you have surgeries, you have general surgeries, you have pediatrics. For MBBS, your 4th year is summarized with your 3rd year MBBS licensure exam. For the 3rd year MD is similar to your 5th and final year in MBBS, which is consisting of 4 major subjects in medicine and some minors. The major subjects are pediatrics, surgeries, which is in time more on special surgeries. You have obstetrics, which is responsible for pregnant women, have gynecology, which is in charge of women only. Together, they both are called OB-GYN. And finally, the most interesting part of them and the hardest part of them is internal medicine. While MBBS, after all, is added to the various hospital posting, which is done in your 5th year for MBBS and your 4th year for MD. In MD, it's also called your clinical rotation or your clerkship. And after that, you are eligible to take your licensure exam depending on your country rules and regulations. With all that said, now we will have noticed the various similarities and differences between them both. According to my research, there are countries like USA, United States of America, Philippines, Liberia, Australia. They focus more on MD, while MBBS is in Ukraine, Russia, Germany, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. But there are countries that offer both MBBS and MD. You just have to decide on which you want to take. Like in the Philippines, the University of Santo Tomas recently added MBBS program. But majorities of the schools here within the Philippines offer MD program. To recap, MD is a 4 years medical program, but you need a pre-med. As such, it is a comprised program. It might save you a little bit money, but requires so much mental energy. You might study it along with your first degree in just 6 years. Like some schools offer BS Bio for 2 years, plus your 4 years equal to 6 years. But if you happen to take Bachelor in Medical Laboratory Science, that is 4 years, it's actually 8 years. Also, you don't have to bother yourself with licensure exam every term. It's just at the end. You also visit the hospital in your 2nd year, but the whole of your 4th year is what? Clinical rotation. With your first degree, you can also try to earn money for yourself depending on the country, if you can actually. On the other hand, MBBS is a 6 to 7 years program. No need for pre-medical degree. You will get to enjoy your 2nd year, which is the 2nd and 3rd year, so you get to learn the very basics and things. Not so much rush in the study, but you will be in trouble with the licensure exam every now and then. So in case of any misfortune, you won't have any degree to fall on. But in the end, you're not trouble with national board exam, right? For corrections to few misnomers of most people, both are just about the same degree and can further in any medical field. If you're a graduate of MD, you can pursue to be a surgeon. If you're a graduate of MBBS, you can also pursue to be a surgeon. The lessons are both in general practice purpose and will require further studies before one can become a specialist. On that note, MBBS does not necessarily mean you are already a surgeon. Yeah, you are just as good as an MD graduate. Now, some countries consider MD superior to MBBS, according to my research. But to me, they are all leading to the same destination of being a great doctor. With this, I hope you have been able to appreciate the various differences and similarities between MD and MBBS. So now you can decide which is best for you. You can also ask me questions below in the comment box, and it will be a very great pleasure to answer you. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoy. Please don't forget to subscribe and get more interesting topics.